We are going to begin with stocks seesawing to close out a historically tumultuous week on Wall Street as President Trump's trade war rattles markets all across the globe. The closing bell ringing on Wall Street, the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all ending the day on a high note, but still, since the start of the month, down. It comes as China slaps new tariffs on U.S. goods, raising them to 125% in retaliation for the U.S. placing 145% tariffs on Chinese imports. China is America's third biggest trading partner. As many economists predict, everything from cell phones, computers, to clothing, car parts, furniture, to household goods will all cost you more as this trade war escalates. Let's get right to ABC News political contributor and NPR White House correspondent Asma Khalid at Washington and ABC's Jacqueline Lee in Los Angeles. Jacqueline, I want to begin with you. An extraordinary, volatile week for the markets. What are investors saying as we get ready to head into the weekend?
That's right, Phil. I mean, we'll have whiplash, but stocks climbed today because the White House said it is open to a trade deal with China. Investors reacting positively to Trump saying he's optimistic that China will seek a deal with the U.S. But the problem here is there is still too much uncertainty. Businesses are not able to plan. They're seeing consumers pull back. I mean, with the newest University of Michigan survey showing consumer confidence dropped another 11% from March. That is significant. But we are seeing the sentiment today. Some investors believe this is the time to buy the dip. So while the stock market is low, they want to buy shares of companies they think will go up in the long term. Of course, some investors going back to playing offense. Phil.
And also, China's finance ministry put out a statement. I will quote it for you. It says, the U.S. will go down as a joke in the history of world economics. Trump posting on social media saying the tariff policy is doing really well. So how's the White House approaching this trade war with China? And is the president making deals with any other world leaders, as we're told he is?
Reached out to cut deals in some fashion. But to the ultimate economic goal, I mean, look, this is an administration that has offered multiple explanations for the purpose of tariffs. We've heard that this is about reshoring jobs. We've heard that this is about paying down the national debt. But take a listen to the White House press secretary in her own words today.
The president wants to restore wealth to America by shoring up these jobs here at home, which will result in good paying jobs and higher wages for the American public. And so Americans should trust in that process. He effectively implemented tariffs in his first term while driving down the cost of living in this country. And that's what he's focused on doing.
And look, ultimately, this is an administration that is optimistic about a trade deal with China. We heard her reiterate the president's optimism about possibly cutting a deal with China. I will say, though, it's not clear what the path is to getting there.
Okay, and Jacqueline, we don't want to forget, because people are focused on the real big number, but the president put a 10% tariff on other countries during this pause. That's sort of the baseline. Yale researchers say the tariffs could cost the average household up to about an extra $4,700 a year. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone has that kind of extra money lying around. So how are families going to adjust to these lifestyle changes as the prices go up?
That's right. I mean, that is a significant amount of money. And I was just in Pennsylvania. I was speaking with one homeowner. She says she has never been someone who really budgets and looks at things line by line. But she said she and her husband are so concerned about losing their jobs, and they're seeing, prices go up and what's expected to go up even more, that she is now rethinking vacations. They typically go on vacation several times a year. She says they're not doing that. They're rethinking going out to eat. They're not doing that either. And they're not buying as many clothes or, those like fun things that you want to buy when you go out, because she says they are concerned about what's going to happen in the next few months. And on top of that, they're putting off their remodeling project because she says, I don't want to sink in a bunch of cash right now to something maybe a few months from now, I'm going to need that money. So we're seeing a lot of consumer confidence just dropping and pulling back on that spending. Phil.
Yeah, and unfortunately for some other folks, it's going to be a choice between, what they do. Do they pay for their medication or what else? That $4,700 is a lot of money. Asma Khalid and Jacqueline Lee, thank you both very much.